is going to be as long as a Marvel movie. So make sure y'all get y'all snacks and get your water. Stay hydrated while watching this, because I know this is going to be a long trial. Here we go. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner. I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally, helping the elderly across intersections when needed. Yes, you get it. It said, oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. It was a howling wind. I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. So now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the paper, partner. I said, what do you mean? Is it a desperado soul is as boundless as the desert sands? No paper can sum it up. I said, maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Yes, can we? Because every time I do that voice, it's low-key making it scratchy. Said, please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English, this is gonna be the most complicated testimony that you have to read, okay? My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchid. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. He says, so if you gonna shoot, then shoot. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel Steak lunches can beat the Carla's Vongo Sepia pasta. I said, do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Judge, didn't you stop a trial almost so you could each finish eating your sushi plate or whatever the fuck you had? Right, okay. So Meekin's out and says, so you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was that Officer Meekins doing during that time? He said, what else? He was sleeping like a baby. Oh my God. I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. He said, now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Please, no. Thank you. Oh, she's taking a stand? So, Your Honor, wait. Emma, the defense has an objection, a scientific objection, right? What do you mean, right? He said, oh, right. Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? In a sense. Said, please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Oh, well, thank you, Edgeworth. Thank you. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky's sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day, so I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured out if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. Oh, so did you find something? No, so what? So why'd you bring it up, Emma? Why'd you bring it up? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Oh, Lord. So what we doing? Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. Okay, get her off the stand. Get her off the stand and let her just be in the audience, okay? What we doing here? What are we doing? And I'm just an attorney. So, but Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh, God. Come on now. So time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any responsible doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. So looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more abused, but still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be. Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. Oh, Jesus. So what could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Yes. Objection! I think. It said this handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. So let's pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plan? Oh, Jesus. Well, that's in the room, so let's make clear of that. That's there. Take that! Right? Yes, it was the music design. So what about that piece of plywood? Yep, it said the Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of the truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. He said, well? He said, well, what? He said, that's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it will be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. Because how'd you get behind it? The ID number belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Yo, it's Orange Man, okay? It's Overtan Sun Man, Thor's brother, the Orange Man. Like, come on now. Look at his office. Whose office looks like this and is not a villain? It said, whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius. Oh, look, see, look. There go the music. There go the evil music. Because of what my sister said? That basically is what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. So let's talk to him. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of it for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. He said, yes sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay Dick? Look, y'all. If y'all know anybody named Richard, call him Richard, okay? Because I really don't understand how we got the nickname Dick from Richard. Was the first Richard like packing or something? Was the first Richard like hung like a lot? Why is he called Dick? Like, how do people get Dick out of Richard? I really don't understand. I don't understand. He said, yes, let's present it. Let's see. Let's present that picture. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes, the trophy Mr. Marshall is holding, it's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind this design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Huh? What are you talking about? He said this award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard the story? Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell me it, though, for Emma's sake? Look, if I don't know something, y'all, I'm not gonna lie and act like I do. Just tell me, okay? Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd that he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Objection! He said those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard the story before, right? Anyway, he said no you didn't. Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, not that one. It's that one. Emma's. That's Emma's. Oh. That's Emma's. Hello? No. How can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Okay, here. Maybe you should hold on to this. Piece of okay. Why are her fingerprints on that? Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to you, your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind. Oh, shit. Gan is here. In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Oh, Lord. Isn't that right, you and the coach? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He gonna get fired, y'all. Today's his last day. We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you and the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. Oh, he's getting fired, y'all. You won't be needed anymore. But, sir. Uh-oh. Now, get out. Oh, we got him fired, y'all. Damn. We'll be on our way, too, then. Wait, you the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed. You with the spiky hair. You're free to go. Oh, you're not about to interrogate her and try to get her to conceal some evidence or whatever. He's going to try to intimidate her, y'all. He's going to try to intimidate her. Mr. Wright, you don't have to do it, baby. You don't. Look, pal, I've told you, once I've told you, 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? Well, first of all, bitch, you went with us. So we snuck in there, okay? Time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Objection! Yeah, come on now. Come on now. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at the stage will certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand it's a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Oh, he's showing his true colors, y'all. He's showing his true colors behind the orange. Come on now. Huh. I don't think I care for your tone. Chief Gan, he said, watch your tone, bitch, before I check it for you. That's right, Edgeworth. He said, what? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. Oh, I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Said Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. I don't care what you have to say, bitch. Let's go. I already thought half the list was missing. Like, come on now. Yes, it's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Oh, yep, there's something on it. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. That thing. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. This thing is haunting me. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Okay. All right. Jesus Lord. Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would have he hit? A suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Yep, there we go. He got knocked back, and the actual murder weapon was the damn armor. Are you lost, Judge? You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? Aw, damn. Wow, Emma. Don't that suck to realize? Shit. I never again. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gann, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this incident. Oh, you mean the time that Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. They need to change the laws. They need to change the laws because if that's the case, the police could just go ahead and do whatever they want. You know what? Actually, that is how the system is built. Never mind. Just clicked. Never mind. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? Yeah. It's possible. It's possible. Come on, open your eyes. You took a piece and put it in safe. Gant got there before you. Yep. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? No. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may very well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my... Bitch, we don't care. Have Chief Gant? Then you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have known it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up, here, victory is mine. Can I show it or can I not? Let's just show it. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. All right, then. Let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence to show, okay. Yeah. That shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let's see, it's that. There we go. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At least you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. That's handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it, Righto. Had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It's Emma's. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... It's her, but I don't want to snitch on her. Emma. Emma Sky? So they're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. So why didn't you tell me? It had to be done. I'm sorry. Huh. So you're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still trying to pin the murder on me? So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. Please, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? Huh, I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Because how was it cut off? How are we not thinking about that? This piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Yet your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is it this? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of cloth of the vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth has no blood on it. It has none. There's no blood on it. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword on time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He was most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armored sword? Not a 14-year-old girl. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Yep, got your ass. Now, come on, I don't want to see your face no more. It's finally over. Sheesh, can we get him, please? Please. Oh my God. What? Oh, what? He said that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Oh my God. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegation. What do you mean you refute his allegation? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. How? What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. But you concealed everything in your safes. What do you mean? Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. You actually think you can best me in court? It looks like the last laughs on you, son. But you held everything in your safe. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, true, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? No. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal. No. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, as you don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward you can't really believe. That's what you said in the beginning, so there's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation... yes I can. The book. Take that! The book. There we go. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at the picture and... Sorry, but you can recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Gantz. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. He sure did. Yup. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. And that's you. The killer was you. Yup, get that ass. Oh, now you won't laugh at all. Yep, lose your mind now. Lose your mind now, sir. Oh my God. Yeah, go ahead and faint. Go ahead and faint, sir. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. You always come at the worst time. You are. He said, yes, I am. I'll come back later. Right, move. Thank you. All right, then he's gonna be like, why'd you make me come back? Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see some. Uh-oh. Lana, should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago, oh, I guess she's gonna tell all now, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Aw, now they're smiling now. Aw, that's nice. Good. Let's get this happy ending going. Okay? Oh, there we go. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in doing so, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on together a brighter future. There we go. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Huh? Stop hiding and come over here. He's always in the shadows lurking. Lord, so where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. I'll be going now. He does not stick around. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, oh my god, he's so emo, bro. Oh my god. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. I thought that thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but let's think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, yeah. Is this a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him. Evidence. Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I don't know. I don't know. That's, like, what the fuck? Like, this? Was it that? Was it the picture I drew? Our counterattack began with this. You had one half and he had one half. Apart, we couldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends I need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. He probably gonna cry. So what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let whatever happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know, it seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going too. Okay, I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catch up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis, I will. Aw, that's sweet. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I'll have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. And what does that mean? Self-discovery? Like, what does that mean? He said, well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. What is it? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be fronting the bill. Huh? I said, what you think? I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me. So I gotta pay? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? He said, I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? That's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. He was like, no. Y'all pay it. Alright, y'all. So that is the end of Rise from the Ashes. Lord, I feel like this trial took a fucking month to do. Like, good lord, this trial just went way too long. And like, honestly, looking at Gant, like, why would you think that he's not the killer? Like, he looks like the killer. Look at his skin. Like, I'm telling y'all, anybody that doesn't take care of their skin is villainous. Okay, so like, and he wore gloves automatically, and he stared at your eyes for too long and made awkward like stares. So yeah, like, he's the villain. Like, come on now. So I think there's more after this. I have to see. But if there is more, I can't tell you when the next episode is gonna come out, honestly. Okay, because I'm kind of busy right now, and the edited videos have been, you know, like coming out sporadically. I'm sorry, but like I've been busy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this whole series and this episode. And if you did, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll be back with this at some point and another series to continue. So I'll see y'all later, and deuces.